Welcome to LivePart. It's understood that the AKAI MPC is made for sampling hip-hop beats or other electronic genres. And I'm going to show you that this is a perfect standalone production studio for rock and metal musicians as well. There is one major shortcoming for guitarists: the absolute absence of the hi-Z input, meaning that when you record your guitar straight into the line in, the guitar sounds dull, undynamic, and basically unusable. And to fix this, I'll show my workaround. I use a simple guitar plug amp. Of course, I could use my Kemper or Tonex, or even use my neural DSP plugins to record them into the MPC, or I could connect two microphones and mic up my cabinet and use my tube amp for this. But when I work on my MPC in standalone mode, I want to have as little cables, as little gear as possible. And this is a perfect solution. You've got one guitar cable, one amp, one guitar, and your MPC, and that's it. And it can sound pretty decent too. So how about something like that? Or if you're into metal, so let's hook it all up. I'll be using a Fender Mustang Micro here, which I bought a few years ago to practice when I'm on vacation. And it sounds pretty decent. Now there are a lot of options out there, from Tonex being probably the best sounding one, but there's also Blackstar, Boss, Vox, Nux, you name it. And all of them are actually pretty good. It depends on what you want. Now I'm simply using what I have here. So let's connect it to our guitar first. Just like that. Turn it on. Now I will need an adapter, as this only has a phone's output. So you'll need something like that. And then connect it to the output of your plug. And obviously the other end of the guitar cable you connect to the one of the two MPC inputs. In my case, it will be the input number 1. Then you open your MPC project, obviously, and load the drum kit that you wish. In this case, this one is sampled from Superior Drummer. Suitable for this kind of guitar. And now let's hit new track on audio. And we want to go to I/O, and on the input, we want to switch from input 1 and 2 to input 1, because I only have one channel here right now. Now we're going to the monitor section and we select auto. Boom, I have a sound here. Okay, let's name the track. Guitar 1, for example. And let's change the color, something different. And just play around first, like. I'm like. So let's hit tap tempo. 130 BPM roughly. All right. Now let's activate the metronome. And record, and play. And we of course also want to have the count in set to record. Adjust the metronome level so we can hear it anytime. Oops. I've got a drum pattern that I should delete first. By the way, here's a little hint. Hit set and track select, and now you can switch between your tracks. Let's empty the pattern. Double click on the edit button to go into the grid menu. Hit shift and select all, and then shift and delete. All right, it's empty now. We've got our tempo, and now just let's play around with the metronome. All right, something like that. I don't want to record anything fancy right now. So hit record. and play. Too much string noise, so let's hit record again. If you'll hit record, it will re-record your previously recorded take and play start. Not play. If you'll hit play while recording, it will start recording from your cursor position, and you want to start from the beginning. Alright, hit stop. Now let's duplicate the track, and it's empty. And now we want to double track. So hit record, play start. Didn't like that. Hit record. Okay, we've got our double tracks, and now let's span them hard left and hard right. So go to level, switch one to hard right, then switch to the next track, and hard left. Let's listen to that. Okay, we've got our first riff. Now let's switch to the drums and just play around to see what fits. Now, of course, I could program the pattern, but I think it's just much more fun to play around. Right, obviously I missed a note or two, so I could go to grid and I could take a look at this and correct some notes. Alright, I could also record a bass quite easily. Now I'll go to the track 3, duplicate it, and then center it out. Probably too much gain in this preset. Of course, I could use something like a DI input. And then distort it afterwards. So let's try this out, and let's rename this to bass. And change the color. Something like that. Now hit record, play start. All right, let's listen to this. Now I could use some distortion, for example. Now the signal is quite low here. So go to sample edit, hit shift and select your sample, hit process and select normalize. Right, much louder. Alright, I accidentally normalized the wrong sample. That's okay. Let's normalize them all. And go to sample edit. Now here's another one. So I hit process, normalize duet. Good, loud. Go to next sample till we find our bass. And here it is. Hit process, normalize duet. All right. Much louder. Let's add some compressor to the bass. Okay, cool. And just as I would do in my guitars in a DAW, I would send them to one bus and then process them together. So hit I/O, and on the output, select, instead of output 1 and 2, scroll up, say to submix 1. Same thing for the other guitar. Okay. I want to reduce the level. And now, if I would want to reduce the level of both guitars, I can do that from the submix. Also put an EQ on that, so both signals are processed simultaneously. And I'll select my Air Visual EQ4, go into it, activate some high pass. Also use the notch EQ trick. And if you're someone who likes to sidechain your kick drum to the bass guitar, which can make sense, you can do that as well. There's a compressor called the Mother Ducker. So we'll select the track 1, and we go to the edit, and then to samples, we select our sample of our kick drum, and then we go to effect and add dynamics, Mother Ducker input. Important. You set the input on your source, and our destination is our bass guitar. So we'll go to channel of our bass guitar. Let's undo the monitoring for here right now. Don't need that anymore. And here on the fix, we could go to dynamics and Mother Ducker. And now let's set it up. And there you go, got some sidechain going on as well. Of course, I could add something on the master bus, like master EQ, limiter, maximizer, whatever. So perfectly well for songwriting. And of course, I could add some synth. Why not? I'd hit new track, hit plugin, and then let's select, say, Nacht. And I want some kind of a pad. So I'm going to the Nacht plugin and I select pads. And I don't know. Now let's switch the scale to chromatic. All right, go to home. I also know that I play in the key of B, so I can go here and switch to B. All right, not sure I like that sound, but I can just select another one. Here as well. And we also could add some variations, of course. So we'll go to the clip launcher and we have our tracks right here. And now let's just add another one. I'll select the drum kit here. Right, and I could do something like an intro beat, right? Or I could go to the bass here and also record something else, like. Of course, I should normalize this, right? And so on. So I can build whole structures and different combinations of my riffs and then put it into a song structure and merge it into one song, basically. I hope that helps. Hit like and subscribe. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one. Bye-bye.